or good evening, depende kung kailan nyo pinapanood itong video na to. Now, for this video, we're going to talk about the cube of binomial. Special products na naman siya. Now, when we talk about cube, yung ibig sabihin ito, gagamitin mo yung base 3 times as a factor. For example, 2 raised to 3. Ibig sabihin yan, gagamitin mo si 2 ng 3 beses as a factor. So, 2 times 2 times 2 is equal to 8. Now, when you talk about binomial, ang binomial ay isang polynomial na may dalawang term. So, this is x plus y. Ibig sabihin ng cube of binomial, we're going to use x plus y thrice or 3 times as a factor. Now, to answer that, there are steps. Kaya nga, special product siya, may pattern. So, to get that, ayan na yung pattern or yung steps. Pause nyo na ulit yung video para makopy yun sa notebook. Okay, so, feeling ko na-copy nyo na. Then, let's move on now to the examples. Mas maintindihan yan sa pamamagitan ng examples. So, the first one is x plus y raised to 3. Ayan yung kaninang example. So, how are we going to answer that? Now, there are 4 steps. Each step corresponds to the answer. So, there are 4 terms sa sagot natin. So, x plus y raised to 3 is equal to, this first step, get the cube of the first term. That means x times x times x. Sulat ko muna ito ngayon, mamaya hindi na. X cube. Then, step number 2, 3 times the product of the square of the first term. So, dalawang first term. And the second term. So, 3 times x times x times y is 3x squared y. Next, the third step will be thrice the product of the first term and the square of the second. Therefore, dalawang y equals 3xy squared. For the final step, for step number 4, get the cube of the second term, which is y. So, y times y times y is equal to y cubed. Now, to get the answer, pagkasama-samahin lang natin yan. So, the answer is x cubed plus 3x squared y plus 3xy squared plus y cubed. Medyo nakakalito lang yung step 2 at step 3, pero kayang-kaya naman. Next, how about this example? So, again, step 1, we're going to get the cube of the first term. X times x times x is equal to x cubed. Next, our step number 2, we're going to get 3 times the product of the first term. Dalawa yan, square of the first term, then negative y. Since may negative yan at saka positive, negative 3. Actually, may negative 1 dyan, hindi lang nakikita. Kagaya nga na sinabi ko sa ibang mga videos ko. So, that one. And step number 3, thrice the product of the first term and the square of the second term. Dalawang negative y. Always remember to put negative dyan sa may minus. Kasi pag wala mamamali kayo. So, since dalawang negative, negative times negative, it's positive. So, 1 times 3 is 3xy squared. Next, for the last term, step number 4, we're going to get the cube of negative y. Negative y times negative y times negative y is equal to negative, negative times negative, positive, positive times negative, negative y cubed. So, the final answer is x cubed minus 3x squared y plus 3x y squared minus y cubed. Ito ang ating answer. Next. Yan, may number na. So, how are we going to do this? The same thing with the previous example. We are going to follow these 4 steps. So, the 4 steps are, the first one is to get this, the cube of first term. So, x cubed. Next, step number 2, you're going to get 3 times the product of the square of the first term. Dalawang x, then isang 2. Multiply mo si 3 at saka si 2, 6x squared. Then, for the next one, the third step is thrice the product of the first term and dalawang second term. So, 3 times 4 is 12x. Last but not the least, step number 4, you're going to get the cube of 2. 2 times 2 times 2 is equal to 8. So, the answer here is x cubed minus, or is it minus? No, it's plus 6x squared plus 12x plus 8. Ayusin natin yung plus. And, ayan na yung magiging sagot para sa x plus 2 cube. Hala! As much as possible, ayoko na maraming numbers dito, pero okay lang. So, we can answer this by getting the cube of the first term. So, 2x times 2x times 2x is equal to 8. Ayos na muna. 8x cubed. Next, step number 2. Tries the product of the square of the first term. So, dalawang first term ang susulat ko dito. Then, the last term. 3 times 2 is 6. 6 times 2 is 12. 12 times 3 is 36. Then, x squared, y. Sunod. 3 times the product of the first term. Then, the square of the second term. Now, 3 times 2 is 6. 6 times 3 is 18. 18 times 3 is 54. Hindi ko sigurado kung tama yung 54, pero feeling ko naman. So, we are going to the next step. Step number 4. We're going to get the cube of the second term. So, 3y times 3y times 3y. That is 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. Y cube. Pag sumasamahin lahat ang sagot sa uli, ang sagot ay 8x cube plus 36 x squared y plus 54 xy squared plus 27 y cube. Ayan. That is my answer. That is the answer for this step. Okay, last 2 examples. Solo 7 minutes na. So, how to answer this? Ganun pa rin, 4 na step. Step 1, get the cube of the first term. 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. Next, step 2, tries the product of the square of the first term times the second term. So, 3 times 2 times 2 is 12. Dahil may negative 1 dyan, negative 12 na siya. Next, tries the product of the first term times the square of the second term. So, the answer is 6. Hala, bakit, negative times negative, magiging positive, kaya positive 6 lang yun. Next, for the last one, step number 4, you're going to get the cube of the second term, and that is negative y cube. Actually, kanina na sagutin natin yan banda dito. Ayan o, negative y cube din. So, pagsasama-samahin yung mga sagot. 8 minus 12y plus 6y squared. 6, ayusin natin ang sulat. Minus y cube. Yan yung magiging sagot dyan. Last but not the least, yan na naman si Tala. Now again, pag more than 1 ang literal coefficient, alphabetize. So, step 1, get the cube of the first term. So, AT times AT times AT is equal to A cube. Ayaw sumulat banda dito. T cube. Next. Okay, so step 2. Next step is we're going to twice the product of the first term, or square of the first term rather, times negative AL. Huwag kakalimutan yung minus kasi mamamali kayo. A while ago, nagkamali na ako, pero tama ko naman. So, 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. Tatlong A, isang L, dalawang T. Next, step 2, or step 3 rather, tries the product of the first term times negative AL. Negative AL is equals to 3. Then, A cubed, L squared, tapos T. Last but not the least, step number 4. You're going to get the cube of the last term or the second term. So, to get the cube of this, multiply natin, negative pa rin yan. Isang technique, pag tatlo silang negative, negative ang sagot. Pag odd numbers ang multiply ninyo, negative. Pero pag nag-even yan, magiging positive yan. Anyway, kaya na natin yan. L cubed. Now, sagutin natin. A cubed, B cubed minus 3A cubed LT squared plus 3A cubed T squared, or kita nyo na dito na ang pangit kasi nasulat ko. That is L squared T minus A cubed L cubed. So, hindi naman yan bibigay ng teacher niyo. Pero pag ako teacher niyo, magbibigay ako ng ganyan. Har. Anyway, thanks for watching. 11 minutes na. Kung may mga mali sa aking gawa, feel free to correct me. Message niyo ako. Okay lang. Bye!